Men of Reddit, what's the creepiest thing a woman has ever said to you? I bartended at a small dive bar years ago. It was late one night, and I had a lone female guest. She was probably middle-aged, polite and short while ordering her drink. I thought nothing strange or got no red flags, so I continued my closing duty, sweeping around the tables in particular, not behind the bar. I'm focused on cleaning and getting out of there, and I turn around to dump dustpan, and she's standing right behind me staring me dead in the eye. "Will you dance with me?" she asks in a slow, nervous manner. For the record, there is no music playing, and we're the only two living creatures in the building. I tell politely that I'm closing and cannot right now, and quickly put distance and walk behind the bar. In the 5 seconds I have to walk through the kitchen, this guest has walked back to her stool and begun hysterically crying at the top of her lungs. She asks me if I think she's ugly, fat, unattractive, a whore, and several more derogatory things which I deny and deflect. She screams and tells me she hates me and runs out of the bar. I wring the beer she drank half of up as a waste and lock the door. I continued to work there for 7 more years, and never saw this guest again. Mine is so harmless in comparison to a lot of these, but was stoned and hooking up with this girl. We are foreplaying and she's sitting cowgirl kissing my neck and I am digging it. Suddenly she's like licking and slurping my neck and chest. She sits up, moves her face an inch from mine to stare into my eyes and says, "Where did you get your skin? It's delicious." I was so high I could only reply, "My parents." She told me she would rather kill me and then herself than see me with someone else. As a child, 10yo, my then stepmom requested some specific candy bar from my trick-or-treating haul. When I refused, she casually said, "I'll rape you for it." I had only a vague idea what the word meant, but it sounded like bad news. Bonus, same individual performed a tactile inspection of my downstairs when I tried on a new bathing suit to ensure that my package was all right. At a bar, a woman a good 20 years older than me walked up from behind me, ran her hands through my hair and said I'm a dominatrix. A few years ago I started hanging out with this girl who was around my friend group at the time, and came to trivia nights with us occasionally. Things were going well at first, but then I started noticing some odd signs. She never slept. She would do bizarre things like start her shower, then go start cooking food, then sit down and begin tending her plants as if she kept forgetting what task she was doing. She put a sign out on her lawn with her cell phone number on it wanting to connect with strangers. It got weirder as it went on. I mentioned to her once that I liked thunderstorms and she became convinced that I could cause thunderstorms. At first I thought she was joking, but it started to weird me out. Then one night when I was sleeping over I noticed that she was just sitting in bed watching me. She put her hand on my heart and whispered that she could hear the beautiful fishes in my blood. That very morning, her father burst into her apartment yelling about her appointment with the psychiatrist that she kept avoiding. She told me that her parents and the doctors were trying to convince her that she had bipolar disorder, and wanted to shut her brain off. Long story short, her friends and family convinced her to go. She bravely took on her mental illness and got help before the manic episode got out of control, and now we are very close friends to this day. I want to have sex with you and I want my husband to come in the room to catch us having sex and you ending up fighting him. She held up a banana and asked if my penis was the same size. In the middle of a dinner rush. As loud as can be. In front of about 5 customers and everyone on shift that night. And this was after she groped my brother's ass. Somehow she didn't get fired for this shit and I still resent my former boss for not being more attentive. A complete and total stranger walked over to me and said, "I need you to rearrange my guts with your cock." She pointed at the men's bathroom and then walked over and into it. While I left. This woman had 20 years at least on everyone in that place, and the best way for me to describe how she looked is to say half-crushed beercan. Slightly off topic, but this experience comes to mind reading this. This weekend at Felt Music Festival in Toronto, I was actually aggressively approached. A girl had grabbed my arm as my friend and I were walking by. As I tried to pull away, she looked me dead in the eye and said nothing. I said, "Sorry, I'm in a hurry to the bathroom, can't talk." She then proceeded to touch my stomach and tried to get a handful of my package. Throughout all this, she said nothing. Scared the shit out of me. I want to have your ADHD-infested children. A woman I matched with on Tinder told me that she likes to kill animals, and then asked to meet me in the middle of the woods. I figured that might be a red flag, so unmatched, and never went back to Tinder. I was 14, she was 16, just started talking due to our mutual friends were dating. After a week she drops, I got a bun in the oven, and you can be the father. Hung up the phone and never spoke to her again. Edit, I was obviously not the father after only talking to the chick for a week. Will you sleep with me if I drug and stab you? It'll be fun. I was waiting for my bus at 6 a.m. I had a gal tell me she was gonna follow me home and fuck the dog shit out of me whether I wanted it or not. For context, I was living in the Bronx at the time. I heard shit like that all the time. Men of Reddit, what are some immediate red flags in men that women should look out for? Pretty much anything you look at and think, I can fix him. Or relatedly, but he won't do that with / to me. No you can't, and yes he will. If a guy tells you he's no good, listen. Holes in the drywall. Run. Anger management issues. Holes in drywall, being in fights despite never looking for them, or even toad rage. This is a red flag on its own, but it gets worse when getting defensive about it. Oh, I got mad when X, Y, Z happened, but I didn't hurt anyone is a half step away from I hit person when X, Y, Z happened. Someone so easily angered has all the ability in the world to be physically abusive. I've seen this as early as high school, and these are the assholes who never grow up and face the unfair acts of the world with a plan. They simply react and never advance, they move along or worse, regress. These are also the first ones to gaslight anyone in an embarrassing situation. These types are always right and everyone else is wrong. But I have a great sense of humor. Edit, I'm leaving toad rage in there. Sure. They can hate toads as much as traffic. Pushing small boundaries that aren't a big deal. Then, once called out on it, backpedaling, apologizing for it and then doing it again. Inability to compromise. Tried to find a less common one. For people looking for a long-term partner. Beware when someone complains about everything and is seemingly the victim in every situation. This is the type of person that will very quickly blame you if anything goes wrong, and is likely shitting on you to other people already. Secondly, it means you will be perpetually drained by the negativity over the long haul. Suddenly flying off the handle at a minor inconvenience. It's one thing to stub your toe at the end of a bad day and give the table a whack. It's another if every moment of stress or misfortune triggers rage. Only talks about themselves. Emotional manipulation, trying to guilt trap you. Avoid people who are very polite and charming when they want something from those above them, but are arrogant and demanding when they think they can take something from those below them. People who smile up and kick down are the worst. Can't take no as an answer. Acting as if fucking the whole world is an achievement. If he talks about his ex too much. As someone who was in love with an ex for way too long, I was not ready for a relationship with anyone else. Sexual pressure after you directly reject an advance. Healthy people with your interests in mind only need to hear no one time and are respectful of boundaries if they bring it up again in the future. Which animal should go extinct? Lice. Why do they even exist? Edit, this was a rhetorical question. Fleas, fuck fleas. Seeing as how my legs and ankles are chewed to shit because of them, mosquitoes and chiggers, those little red sons of bitches. They fucking suck and contribute nothing to the world. Bed bugs. Bot flies. Their larvae are mammal parasites, which can grow and thrive in your flesh. Google it. The bug which causes scabies aka the itch mite, or bed bugs. Ticks. They do nothing good. Tapeworms. Like, even mosquitoes have more purposes in life than them. Black flies, horse flies, deer flies. Fucking mosquitoes, I don't care if it's a bug. Africanized killer bee. It's an artificial, man-made hybrid that we lost control of, a real-life Jurassic Park story. Any dog breed that struggles to exist. Pugs. Or any dog with a pushed-in face. Those poor animals have been bred to suffer. Cockroaches, I don't care about the environmental consequences, eradicate them all. Mosquitoes, I DC about the impact it might cause.